What happens when Pinocchio gets trolled?
Oh no, I dropped my glasses. By the way, Pinocchio, there was a cookie missing from the jar. Did you take it by any chance?
Yes, Papa Geppetto. I'm sorry.
Are you sure you took it? Because, I'd believe you if you said you didn't.
No, I took it, Papa. I wouldn't lie to you.
You could try. Who knows, you might get away with it.
Recently, Peter and Lois felt their lives had become dull. To spice things up, they decided to go on a second honeymoon, leaving Brian in charge of the house. Right away, Stewie tried to assert dominance, declaring that Brian would now be his diaper-changing slave.
What?
But Brian
I said I'm
refused
not
to
gonna
back
change
down.
you. Well, you can't be serious. Well, what if I make a fudgy? Well, I just won't, that's all. I just won't. Blast, I just did!
Meanwhile, the two siblings, taking advantage of their parents' absence, started getting wild. They began a secret escapade that created a lot of noise, driving Brian crazy. Stewie offered a solution to discipline them, but only if Brian agreed to change his diaper. Reluctantly, Brian gave in. That night, the siblings got into a fight over the TV remote. Brian tried to intervene, but they wouldn't listen. Stewie suggested a trick, and surprisingly, it worked instantly. The two stopped fighting. Brian then picked up a book and started reading them a story. Just then, Lois called, instructing Brian to take Chris to the school dance the next day. At the dance, all sorts of people showed up, including some elderly folks. While Chris was in the bathroom, he ran into two students sneaking alcohol. To prove how good it was, they even did a little performance. When it was Chris's turn to drink, a teacher walked in and caught him, resulting in Chris getting punished. On the way home, Stewie started lecturing Chris about his behavior, but Chris argued that Stewie had no right to discipline him.
If your teachers ask about your bruises, what do you tell them? I get hit by a baseball!
That night, Stewie decided to step into Lois's role, and together with Brian, they planned to confront Chris's friend's parents. The next morning, they went to Jack's house. Brian explained that it was Jack who brought the vodka, leading to Chris's punishment, and demanded a solution. But Jack's parents denied their son would ever do such a thing. Seeing they wouldn't cooperate, Brian decided to take matters into his own hands. Brian and Stewie brainstormed ways to teach Jack a lesson. Stewie came up with the idea of planting contraband in Jack's locker. As expected, the plan worked perfectly. Jack was soon arrested by the police and sentenced to 200 hours of community service.